I'm here with my buddy Philip Williams, and I'd like to encourage you to watch the Phil Williams Show, and you can go to patriotinsights.com.
All right. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
It's that time again for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, "It is time to come together around Trump and stop all this hating and never Trump nonsense. It is time to come together around Trump and stop all this hating and this never Trump nonsense." Interesting. As you're aware, Ted Cruz has suspended his campaign. And I think you guys should probably latch on to that word suspended. It's a very interesting concept. And then within 24 hours, almost immediately after Ted Cruz suspended his campaign, then John Kasich comes out and suspends his blocking campaign. Yes, people, John Kasich's whole job, funded by George Soros and probably Donald Trump too. Well, I don't think Donald Trump did. I don't think Donald Trump has much money to fund it. It's quiet as kept. That's why he won't show you his tax returns. But anyway, John Kasich did what it took to make sure that Ted Cruz was never one-on-one, never able to receive, or Donald Trump in a Ted Cruz delegate split. And so now that Ted Cruz quit, John Kasich, there was no need for him. Stayed in all this time, and Marco Rubio still had more delegates. But anyway, in response to your tweet, I asked the question, do you understand what domestic abuse is? See, domestic abuse is a concept that brings about a certain kind of fear, hesitancy, reluctance, or something of this nature once the abused gets abused. See, you're saying that we're hating on Donald Trump and we need to come around Donald Trump. And this never Trump movement is nonsense. See, it's because you don't want to acknowledge the domestic abuse that Donald Trump administers on us Americans, especially us Republicans. See, domestic violence and domestic abuse is something that's domestic. That means it's happening inside of your home, inside of your family. See, Donald Trump is inside of the Republican family abusing everybody in his own family. We are battered Republicans and conservatives because of Donald Trump. He had 16 people on the stage that he was supposed to be a family member of, and he's proudly running around abusing them, beating them. Their families weren't safe to this guy. This guy had no compassion to people's children. That's because all he wanted to do was win. That's all Donald Trump wanted, was to win. Through hook or crook, he was going to win. He comes across like he's tough. See, most domestic abusers come across like they're tough on family members. But you get them one-on-one with a real man, and them jokers will cry like little kittens. They punks. They could beat up family. But step outside of that, or a family member gets a real true understanding of who they are, they will whoop Donald Trump's ass. He's an abuser. And then you're calling us haters because we don't want to come around the abuser? Never Trump is just like a woman saying, I'm never going to get my butt whooped again by my husband, my boyfriend. Or a guy standing up, my girlfriend's not going to beat me no more. Never. That's what never Trump is about. Because it's saying I'll never, ever, ever vote for this abuser. And then now you're going to put it on us like it's our job to come around this guy? There's a very interesting dynamic that's happening right now with Donald Trump now that he feels he has a clear path to wherever, the convention or whatnot. They're talking about Donald Trump's vice presidential pick. Who's going to be the guy to help Donald Trump? I'm sitting here and I'm listening to these guys. I'm listening to Rush. I'm listening to Hannity. I'm listening to people on Twitter. I'm listening to everybody. And it's a very amazing thing. This is the thing. See, because to me, this is on the platform of an abuser. Now, you're trying to pick a vice presidential pick, second in command, heartbeat away. And you're saying, what does Donald Trump need? He needs Ohio, so he might get Kasich. He needs Florida, so he might get Rubio. He needs this, so he might get... Is he going to get cool with Cruz? Is he going to get that? I mean, you're asking, what does he need? What kind of help does Donald Trump need other than Jesus? Probably get one-on-one with that little black kid that he allowed to get punched in the face at his rally. How about that? I don't think he's tough. I got a little 9-year-old in the boxing class here where I work at that will wax Donald Trump's butt up and down the floor. Turn concrete shiny. And so, but you guys are out here trying to say, what does Donald Trump need? And the part that's amazing is, what does he need for what? To what? Get us to come around his abusive ways? He needs somebody to help what? Turn him into a politician, which you said that's what you liked about him because he wasn't a politician. So now you need somebody to help him be what it is that just got you frustrated. Donald Trump is a good politician on his own. He's flip-flopping all over the place just like politicians do. Says one thing to get elected, says one thing to get the vote, and then he flip-flops and changes. He doesn't need nobody's help to help him be a politician. He is a politician. He's doing great at it. Lying through his teeth. Deflecting, calling Ted Cruz a liar. He's the liar. So what does Donald Trump need help with? Here's what Donald Trump needs help with, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself. Donald Trump needs somebody to help cover up his domestic abuse. Donald Trump needs to have somebody to be the one to say, come on, it's safe to come. I know he scared you, but here, come on over here. He just had to beat you because that's what he had to do. I promise he won't beat you no more. And now the American people being abused victims is saying, no, that's what he said before. Isn't this what we try to coach battered women out of? Isn't this kind of confusion? Why does the battered woman keep going back to her abusive husband? Because her abusive husband tricked her into believing that she can't live without him. He took away her money and made her economically dependent upon him. Physically, emotionally. Disconnect them from God. Disconnect her from God and every semblance so that he becomes the guy. Doesn't this sound familiar, people? This is Donald Trump 101. It's not our obligation to rally around an abuser. It's the abuser's obligation to have to go through and suffer like he made his victims. You guys are frustrated because the politicians have lied to you and dogged you and abused you and misused you. And then now you're rallying around somebody who's doing the same damn thing. Lying to you, flip-flopping, saying what it takes to cater to your frustration. He's pimping you. Because that's what pimps do. They slap their hoes and say, I love you, baby. Oh, you shouldn't have ticked daddy off. You got daddy's money? That's what Donald Trump is doing to you, is he's pimping you. He's an abuser. And his vice presidential pick is designed to make you feel comfortable, like you haven't got your ass whooped by your family member. How would you feel if a group of Catholic priests went and got somebody that seemed cool to say, well, okay, well, allow us to have your children? What would you do if Jerry Sandusky came and had found somebody to come and advocate for your son to come into the locker room with them? How would you feel if Mike Tyson said, hey, I'm not going to do that to you anymore. Hey, look at my friend. He's going to come. You're not going to let nobody come and bring you into the place with the abuser and make you think that you can't get your ass whooped again. That's what a vice presidential pick for Donald Trump has to be able to do. To make you forget that Donald Trump will whoop your tail. That's what a vice presidential pick has to do for Donald Trump. Turn him into the thing that you hate the most, and you say politicians, but more so cover up his domestic abuse. Hey, no more, bruh. Never Trump. Never an abuser. And you should be ashamed of yourself trying to coach somebody into hugging this dude. Hey, I'm Phil Williams, and that's my response to this tweet on The Phil Williams Show.